Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hoopsa YouTube channel. After nearly a month away, QPR are finally back at home on Saturday, with Neil Harris's Millwall the latest to make the short trip across London to Loftus Road. So in this video, I'm joined by That Millwall Podcast panellist and Fantasy EFL Show host Jay Thomas to talk about the Lions season so far, their summer business and which players we should keep an eye out for on Saturday. Links to both of Jay's podcasts can be found in the description below if they are of interest. As with my Palace preview, this one was pre-recorded during the international break because I'm currently away on holiday, but I'm back for the Millwall match itself and normal service will resume for these previews from then onwards. Do make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this match preview, and if you want to support the channel further by becoming a paying member for £1.99 a month, you can do so via the link in the description below as well. Thank you very much for your support and I hope you enjoy the preview. Morning Jay, how are you going?
Not too bad. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. It's good to see you. So obviously we're here today to talk about QPR versus Millwall. So to start us off, let's talk about Millwall's season so far. Obviously opened with back-to-back losses and a draw, but there's been no shortage of goals scored. And just like QPR, you found your first league win just before the international break with the 3-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday. So what have you made of the season so far?
It's been indifferent for Millwall. I mean, you could look at the results and say, oh, Millwall started really poorly. But when you look at the stats and the reasons behind the results so far, I mean, we sit top of the league for XG. Tackles on the ground, aerial duels are right up there. It's on paper, it looks worse than what it is. I mean, the Watford game was an unfortunate one to lose. I didn't think that we lost that game more than Watford won it, to be honest with you. So, we conceded directly from a corner. And, that's never going to help you to win a game of football. But the chances are there, they're being created. And, we're scoring a lot of goals. We created the most chances in the Championship this year, which is for a Millwall team. That's not really something that we do that often. So our frailties have been at the back. But since the return of a couple of players from injury and, with the transfer window ending and getting the squad a bit solidified, we come off the back of 4 points and 2 clean sheets. So indifferent start, but, a lot of teams are like that. When the transfer window is still open, you're still finding your best team. You still don't know whether people are coming in, going, etc., injuries. So, yeah, indifferent, but trending upwards, I would say.
Yeah, that's always good. I mean, you mentioned the transfer window a couple of times there. Obviously, I think 10 players joined Millwall this summer, including the returning Japhet Tanganga, now on a free, which I personally think is very good business. So are you happy with the transfer window overall, or is there anyone else you think you needed?
Very, very happy overall. I mean, this is a transfer window that is indifferent. Again, a lot of indifferences at Mill. We've had a lot of turnover within the club's hierarchy. Brought back Neil Harris, so there's been a lot of changes. The club are moving in the direction now of bringing youth through, developing, getting them to help us on the pitch, and then selling them on. That's something that we haven't done before. We normally go for the journeyman, the more experienced people in the transfer window, kind of players that the managers knows, system fits and things like that. But we're going for a lot of youth, a lot of potential, and that has been, a bit of a struggle for possibly some people to deal with or to understand. But I like what we're doing. I like the players that we brought in. You mentioned Japhet Tanganga. I think it's a massive signing. The 2 games he's been back because he missed through suspension, we've kept 2 clean sheets and we look a hell of a lot better at the back. So he's been key for us. Getting in the big striker, Coburn from Middlesbrough, who was a long-term target, scored on his debut. That was a big sign. And we just signed Serbian international 19-year-old striker, Mihajlo Ivanovic. Again, this is another player that could help us in the short term and sell in the long term. So that's kind of the policy now. We're hoping that it works, but we had to get younger. We had to get more youthful. We had to get quicker on the ball. And I think that we've done that with this transfer window. And more importantly, we got options now behind the starters, which we have lacked in recent years.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that strategy of sort of, trying to develop younger players, selling them on. It's certainly a direction that I think QPR are going to be going in over the next few years as well. And you mentioned about the fact that, that can be sort of hard for some fans to take because it does mean that on the pitch, it doesn't always equals instant success. So obviously it's been mid to sort of top half finishes for Millwall over the past 5 seasons. On that basis, what are your expectations for this season overall?
It's hard to say. I mean, amongst the fan base, there is conflictions. People think that we might do really, really well. Other people think that we might struggle. I personally thought that Millwall were going to struggle this season. We have had a lot of turnover. We have had back-to-back seasons now where, sadly, we've lost someone at the club, um, which has put our not only our transfer business back, but morale, things like that. It changes everything at a football club. We've had that 2 years in a row now, so we have had a lot of off-the-field issues. We're still embedding into this Neil Harris style of football that we know very, very well, but we've got a lot of new players that need to embed into that. That does take time. We don't really know what type of manager Neil Harris is going to be from the first time he was at the club. Done a remarkable job when he come back last year, kept us up. We were second in the league for most points taken since Harris come back, and we performed what would be a miracle to stay up because we was going down, So we picked up some big results under Harris there. It can go either way. And normally, I would say this is where I think we'll finish. This is what I think we'll do. But this season, I just want to see progression. I want to see a tactical progression we need to create more chances. We need to score more goals. We've done that. That's already hit the ground running with players that weren't doing that last season. So players are clearly buying in. But I think the first port of call is to get safe, because you can only go off of what you've done last year. Last year was in a massive relegation battle. So let's get safe, reassess it, get safe as soon as possible, and then see where we go from here. But as you rightly said, the process of bringing in youth for potential to sell on doesn't happen overnight. You need to become a self-sufficient football club nowadays. That's modern football. We haven't been that. We're trying to do that now. You like to your Bristol Cities, your Hulls, teams like that sell on for big profits and, rejuvenate the squad. That's what we're looking to do. So I just want to get this season out the way as such, be safe in the Championship for another year and keep that progression going and move up slowly, not setting our bar too high.
Yeah, makes sense. So which Millwall players have impressed you so far this season, and who should QPR be worried about at Loftus Road?
We got our youngster, one of our own, Romain Esse, come on last season, 19 years old. Really, really talented kid. We call him the Suffolk Saka. He's like a poor man Saka. He's like that inverted wide man on the right-hand side. Likes to cut in, great left foot, can get something out of nothing, really quick feet. Scored a couple goals already this season. He's been such a great player for us to start the season. His issues last season was he physical enough? Does he do the hard work? Does he track back? He's been doing that at the start of this season. So he's added to his game. He's got better. And that's someone we look to bring the club into the future, into the modern game. So he's definitely one to look out for. George Honeyman's another one to look out for in that number 10 position. Bit of a utility man, drops back, very good engine off the ball, runs around, a bit like a Jack Russell, creates, gets on the ball, likes to drift wide. Very, very good at what he's doing. And he's one of the top players in the Championship under EFL Championship stats this season. So he's had a good start. And then probably Duncan Watmore. I mean, we spoke about Japhet Tanganga, the obvious, but Duncan Watmore started the season like a house on fire. Four goals in 4 games, 2 assists. Could have had a hat trick against Watford. Got us a goal and assist against Sheffield Wednesday. So he started fantastically. He's someone who QPR are going to have to watch out for. So both our 2 wide men that are allowing us to create so much more because they're doing their job. That's why we've created so much. So I'd look out for them to cause QPR some problems.
Great, thank you very much. Well, it's been a win each for both sides over the past 2 seasons. So to round us off today, let's get your score prediction for Saturday.
It's indifferent when it comes to Millwall QPR, because you look at the recent fixtures fight in the last sort of 5 years. Millwall won 3, QPR have won 2, and it's been 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, bar the odd 2-1. So it's kind of set in stone for sort of how it's going to look. We lost away at your place last time. We beat you at home at our place last year. If this was being played at the Den, I'd probably say that Millwall would probably win the game, because Neil Harris, there's not any better manager in the Championship to understands what it's like to play at home than Neil Harris at Millwall. So I'd probably say that. I'm going to go for a score draw. I think that both teams are very good at cancelling each other out. We have shown that over previous years. I like what QPR have done so far. Big win against Luton as well. We've got Luton tomorrow, so we'll see how we fare there. But yeah, I'll go for a score draw, and I don't think both teams could be pretty upset with that, to be honest. A nice point on the road away from home will suit Millwall, and QPR getting another point on the board, and that's back-to-back games without a loss. So, yeah, I think both teams will be happy. I'm not too sure what all QPR fans think, but I'll certainly be happy to take a point away.
Great. Well, thank you very much for joining today, Jay, and good luck for the rest of the season.
I appreciate it. Good luck.